Welcome back to my card making series. This is episode 3 and today is all about pens, how to elevate our cards with pens. We're going to talk about fine point pens. We're going to talk about markers, metallic markers, opaque pens, glitter gel pens, all the things. And not only that, we're going to test all the different pens on the same card so you can see the difference from each of the different pen types on the same exact card so you can make better choices when you are designing your own cards. Now, when you're making Cricut cards, they will have a pen recommendation in there for you, but when you're doing your own and you get to pick anything you want to, this will help you to know which kind of pens to pick, and you will probably have a favorite. I know that I do. So if you're new here, you're Crafting with Kim Byers, and if you love making cards, make sure that you smash that subscribe button so you can join me for all the videos in this series. And I will go ahead and put up above episodes 1 and 2. Okay, so here we are on my craft table, and we just have a multitude of Cricut pens to choose from. So a couple of things. First of all, Cricut did a pretty good job of mimicking the colorways that you could get on the Maker and the Explore to the Joy, which is a great thing. The negative is, unfortunately, they don't fit both machines. So if you have a 0.4 pen, let's grab one real quick. So we have a fine point, 0.4 pen, and let's grab a fine point, here we go, for the Joy. Let's turn it over so you can get a good comparison. You can see they are not the same size, unfortunately. So again, it could have something to do with the housing in the machines or whatnot, but I wanted to let you guys know that that has been a bone of contention for several people, that they don't fit in both. So if you have both machines, you're going to have to buy both sizes, or you're going to need to use just one or the other for your card making needs. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about all the different kinds of pens. So this is a set of 0.4. So this is your fine point pens. You can get them in sets where this is the Wisteria pen set, and they kind of, put them together in color sets that might work well on cards. But I personally love going this route. So this is 30 pens, and if I'm not mistaken, there's an even larger set than this, but this is a set of 30 fine point pens, and I use them a ton. I love having multitudes of choices. The next thing is you have your 0.8 pens. So let's see, that's these are your glitter gel pens. These are fantastic, and probably my second favorite of all of the pens is the glitter gel pens. And so that's what they look like for the Cricut Maker and the Explore, and then you also have those for the Cricut Joy. And let's see, right here is what they look like out of the packaging. There we go. I love these pens. These are my second favorite. So you're probably wondering what is her very favorite, and that would be metallic markers. Guys, these are phenomenal. I love these markers so very much. Let's see if I have one that is out of the packaging. Here we go. This is the Joy one. So you can see what they look like. And they look just like regular markers, but the tip looks like regular markers, and Cricut calls this a medium tip. So let's show you this so that you can kind of get an idea. So this is a set, a variety set, and if you look at the bottom of the packaging, this is a 0.3, which is actually smaller than the 0.4 we were just looking at. And then this is a medium tip, which is what they call their marker sets. And then this is a calligraphy set. I love the calligraphy. It is fantastic, but I only use it when I am maybe making place cards and things like that, or something large that I want people to be able to see from a distance. The markers and the 0.8 and the fine point work much better on cards, and we'll test those as we go into our card making today. Okay, and last but not least, these are fairly new, but these are the Opaque gel pens. I'm super excited about sharing these with you. And one thing to note on the Cricut Joy pens, so if I can get them here so you can see them all. So you see they have the little markings on the end. XF is your 0.3, which is extra fine. F is your fine. The medium is your marker. And then the G stands for gel. You see the G right there for gel. Okay, so those are all of those. Now on the bottom of your Maker and your Explore, see if we could see that. Do you see the little F's there? Those are fine point. So if you ever take them out of your packaging and do something like what I just did with this, you're going to be able to look at the bottom of the pen and find out, what it is, so that when you're looking at Cricut Design Space and it's telling you what size of pen you need, you're going to be able to still see it if you take it out of your pen casing. One thing I will say, and this is something I've learned the hard way, and I loved putting these in the little buckets, and I'm doing this today so that you guys can, see these, but the best way to store your pens is flat. The best way to store your pens is flat. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about all the cute ways to display them in your craft room. The best way is flat, even though this is really cute. Okay, so now let's talk about putting pens into our machine. Now your Cricut Explore and your Maker has a housing that has both an A and a B, so you're going to be able to add your pen without removing your blade. If you have a Cricut Joy, you're going to have to take the blade out to insert your pen. So let's just do that really quick. So we're just going to use a 0.4 fine point and do this with both machines. So we're just going to take the pen, we're going to insert. Now listen. You hear the click? So it's going to click and then we close our housing. Now, let's do the same thing with the Cricut Joy. So now we're going to take our 0.4 pen, lid off. We're going to open that housing, take that blade out. We're going to place the pen in. There is no click. You do not press down on the Cricut Joy and you'll close the housing. Okay, so on your Maker and your Explorer, you're going to press down until you hear the click and you're going to close the housing. On your Joy, you're going to take out the blade, you're going to set the pen in, just set it in and close the housing. There is no click. If you press on that, you are risking tearing up your Joy, so don't do that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and move both of these out of the way and let's test some pens. Okay, so here we are on desktop and I want to show you how to change pens in desktop, and then next we'll do mobile. The way you would do this in desktop is to go over into the layers panel and select the pen. Go up into operation and you see your pen. So this is where you cut, draw. You could change it if you didn't want to use the pen and you wanted that to be cut. But we're going to keep pen. We're going to go into color, and this is where you can do a drop down for all the different pen sizes. So just as we talked about, there's the 0.4, there's the extra fine, the 0.3, the gel, which is 1, the glitter gel, which is 8, and then the marker. So for our first test, we're going to do the fine point. And so now you can change your pen color. So we'll just go down and choose one of our pens, and these are all the pens that are in that larger kit that I showed you. Okay, so now for mobile, you choose your card and then it's going to allow you to see the image number and also the image set. So this is going to show you any cards or graphics that were created in that same family of art. I love this as a way to find similar things for a project. Okay, so let's go back to our canvas, and I've already added this card, so we're going to delete the one that I just added, and let's zoom in so you can get a better look at this card. Okay, and I'm going to stop right there and let you guys know that this is a cutaway card, and I wanted to use it for this project because of all the beautiful pen work on it, so I modified it to be able to share it with you as an insert card today. So I will link up my project in Cricut Design Space down below so that you can access that if you want to make this card as an insert card like what we're doing today. But if you want to make it as a cutaway card, which we're going to do in a future video, it's available in Cricut Design Space as a cutaway right now. Okay, so before we change our pens, let's look at the layers of this card so we know what we're working with. So if we go over into layers, now you can see that there are 4 layers. There are 2 pens and 2 basic cuts. And that second basic cut is the insert, the card corners that I added to make it an insert card. Going back to the main canvas and in the navigation, scrolling over to the word edit, now you can see that the pen operation pops up. First thing is you can do the drop down and change that pen to a cut if you wanted to do that. Let's keep it as pen, and we have 5 choices: fine, extra fine, gel, glitter gel, and marker. So now we just choose our colors and our pen type, and we're ready to make a card. Okay, so for our first card, we are going to use this insert card kit. This is an R20. So if you watched my last video, I walked you through all the card kits and all of the sizes. This is a 4 1/4 by 5.5. So this is what it looks like. We have our card, which is already scored, and then we have our insert sheet. And then we are going to make this card 3 times. And so we're going to use 3 different pen sizes. So we have the extra fine, which is 0.3, we have the G, which is gel, which is 0.8, and then we have the M, which is marker for 1. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to take our insert and go ahead and put that on the mat. And if you have not done this before, make sure you check out my last video where we go through the process step by step, making sure that everything is well aligned. And I am going to use my brayer like I did in the last video. This is my friend when it comes to the craft room. I love my brayer. And in the last video, I explained how that keeps oils and lotions and things off of your card. So we're gonna go ahead and feed that in. So if you've never used pens before, just remember that when you're using your Cricut, no matter Cricut Joy, Maker, Explore, you will always insert your pen first and your blade second. It will always write before it cuts. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take that blade out. And in my last video, I also show you how to change your blade if you need to do that. So we select go. Okay, and now it's prompting us to take out our pen. So we remove that. Now, if you're using the Joy or if you're using the Maker, it would just keep going, right? Because it has 2 housings as we looked at before. So, but for the Cricut Joy, you have to swap them. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so now we have our cut fully weeded, and then we can pop that out. And again, we go over all of this in my last video, and I even showed you how to clean the mats. But now that we have this, and so you can see how our pens look, this is our 0.3 pen. Okay, so I'm going to quickly go ahead and cut out the other 2 size pens, and then we will compare. Okay, so here's the big reveal. So this is the 0.3 fine point. This is the 0.8, and this is the marker. So let's put these 2 side by side. You can't see it as well on camera as you can in person. You can see a slight bit of difference in thickness, but the glitter pen in person, you can actually see the shimmer and shine to it. And this can be such a beautiful pen. And then the marker really makes it pop. It really makes it stand out. And you guys can probably see why this is my favorite. But here's the thing. So this is a card that has a pen as an accent, which is beautiful. But then what happens when we change that over to a design that is predominantly pen? And how does that change when you're using different thickness of pens? So let's check that out. Okay, and so for card number 2, we're going to be using the R10. So this is a 3.5 by 4.9. And this is one of 3 sizes that can be made on the Cricut Joy. So I am using the fine point for the first color, which is red. Let's see if I can show. There you go. So I'm using the 0.4 in red, and now this one is the 0.8 in glitter. And so I'm going to show you how different they can look when you're using different widths of pen. Now, from the 0.4 to the 0.8 is not significantly drastic, but wait till we use that marker. If you can see how intricate and detailed this card is, it's absolutely gorgeous, but just wait till you try to apply a marker to that. Okay, and there we go. Look how detailed this card is. Is that not beautiful? I mean, honestly, it took a very long time for the machine to draw, so maybe I wouldn't produce 20 of these, but is that not absolutely gorgeous? Okay, so let's see how the Cricut will react if we are trying to do intricate little things like this with a marker. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cancel this card and show you what this looks like. Okay, so this is the one, and you can see here, you can tell what it is. I mean, it's not that it's not pretty, right? But let's compare that to when we use the 0.4. You see all that detail? So when we put them side by side, do you see all that is lost? See his cuffs, all that little detail and all the line work? And again, this is pretty, and if you don't mind losing the detail, then you could always use a marker. But I would just say that when it's small and detailed and intricate, use the fine point, use no more than the 0.8, And then for the chunkier items, like what we did on our first card, then that's when you would want to use your markers as accents. I will put both of these cards up down below so that you can grab those. And I'm actually going to send you into my profile in Cricut because I did do a little modification to this one. This was actually a cutaway card and I made it into a regular insert card. Okay. Have you ever wanted to write on black paper with white ink? Let me introduce you to Opaque pens. So we're just going to look at this on desktop, but if you go up into your pen choice, colors, and you go under gel, you're going to see that there are multiple colors available as opaque. So you have white, pink, orange, yellow, and blue. So they are white, yes, white, orange, and pink, and they write on dark papers. So if you've ever wanted to make cards, but you wanted to make darker cards and the pens didn't show up, this is the answer. So I actually made this card kit because I didn't have any colors like this. And if you guys are interested in making your own card kits, put a comment down below and let me know, and we'll do that in an upcoming video. Oh my goodness. Okay, and there you have it. Now you can write on your dark colored cards with white ink. Okay, so I hope you learned something in today's video, and I would love for you to pop down in the comments and let me know what you want to learn about card making next. See you then.